Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to Coinology. If you've got a moment, subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate it so much. Today I wanted to talk about two things. I wanted to give my opinion on the whole KASPA pool stealing situation that's going on. And then also I have a little project that I am going to be working on and I will be going step by step with you on. So first things first, as far as KASPA, I've been mining it, I think, since probably like December, January, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I remember hearing about it on Son of a Tech, and typically when he talks about cryptocurrencies, I take them a little bit more seriously. I decided to jump in. Obviously, looking at this huge list of mining pools for KASPA, back then there was only one pool, and it was Wooly Pooly. That was the only place that you could mine KASPA. So you had no choice. So I've obviously been mining KASPA on and off for a little while now, and it's always been on Wooly Pooly. So I knew that potentially it could be a rug pull. I knew that Wooly Pooly could very well be stealing my cryptocurrency, but I was just excited to get into the project. Obviously, KASPA has a lot of awesome pros, like that it's such a fast software, and potentially can even be one day faster than Solana. So I jumped in. But with all of that aside, I knew what I was getting into, and I've been mining on Wooly Pooly. They obviously are recalculating what they owe people right now because they know that they've made a mistake. We don't know all the details of it yet. But when I actually log into my Wooly Pooly pool data, it says that it's recalculating. So something is going on. With that being said, there's obviously a lot of different pools now. So it might be time to move on, with hero miners on board, maybe even F2 pool on board. I just think that there are better options now and potentially time to move on. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm obviously waiting for the recalculation to complete so that I can make sure I get my full payouts from Wooly Pooly, and then I'm going to switch over to hero miners or F2 pool. I need to do a little bit more research on it, but there are so many pools now, guys, so we can't really complain. So time to move on. And I remember back when we first started mining KASPA, everybody was like, well, this is obviously a rug pull because there's only one pool. And so I just think we kind of knew what we were getting into. But that's that. Today, I'm going to be building a riserless motherboard GPU rig with the addition of using a Bitmain power supply, something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Okay, everyone, so what I have here, first of all, is going to be the Bitmain power supply. I took this from my Antminer L3. It's got 10 6-pin PCI cables. I also have these 6-pin splitters. And what it is 6-pin female on this side, and it will actually split it off into 2 6-pins. So I have that if I want to run multiple motherboards off of this power supply. I have the motherboard that I'm going to be using. These motherboards tend to be, I found a little bit harder to get, but they are awesome because you don't obviously have to use PCI risers. You can run 5 right off the main board. Also, the CPU does not need any kind of cooler. The fans from the GPUs are actually going to be what cools it. So you save a little bit of electricity right there. I have a cheap flash drive with Hive already installed. I have my overclocks, everything's ready to go. The GPUs that I'm going to be using are P106-100, 6 gigabytes. That's what all 4 of these ones are. As you can see, it's got to say it somewhere, right? Yeah, P106-100, 6 gigabyte. So I have 4 of those. And then additionally, because these actually don't have video input, I will be using a regular 1060. If you don't already know, P106s are basically a 1060 that's been stripped down. Like I said, no inputs whatsoever. So I'm going to use this for video. Obviously this has HDMI, so I'm good to go there. Let's go ahead and get this thing built. So first things first, I'm going to have to give this motherboard power. So I have 1, 2, 3 PCI 6-pin ins, and essentially I'm going to run the power supply into those. So what I'm going to do, because I want to supply power to the motherboard as well as the GPUs, I'm going to use a splitter. So first things first, I'm going to take my power supply 6-pin and add my splitter. It's usually easier when you're building a rig to go ahead and put in all of your wiring first. That way, when you go to put the GPUs in, you're not fighting with the machine to get those wires tucked away nicely. In this case, I'm just trying to test this. I've always wanted to do this. I've never been able to. Finally have a extra power supply sitting around. I saw all these parts getting really cheap. I said, why not? Got the last 6-pin for the motherboard. Pop that in here. Now that I've got those plugged in, I can go ahead and plug in these GPUs. So from what I've seen so far, I believe that this slot is actually going to be our #1 slot. So this is where I want to run video off of. So I'm going to put in all the other ones first and then add that last 1060. It's going to be the first P106, second P106, and I do already have a KASPA wallet pool overclock set up in Hive, so I am ready to go. I've already tested these graphics cards on another motherboard, so we can just kind of plug these in and get going quickly. So I have all the P106s in. Got my 1060 now. I'm gonna plug this in. It is a blower card. I know some people are against that for mining. I like them. I haven't had any actual issues with them. So now, motherboard's got power. We're gonna have to go ahead and power the actual cards. So the Bitmain power supply cables are rated at about 150 watts from what I've compiled online. So now I have these cables split. Obviously with splitting cables, it's gonna be about 75 watts allowed for each cable. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. I believe when I first tested the P106s, they were getting about 60 watts. They're taking about 60 watts. So this setup will be fine. All these are really low powered cards. There shouldn't be any problems. I'm trying to keep these extra pins for a second GPU rig. That way I can actually run them both off one power supply. At this point in time, we just need to plug in the power cable to the power supply. We need to add the Hive OS operating system with the flash drive, and then also add Ethernet and HDMI to this card, and we should be good to go. Please don't mind my messy computer desk, but I have the power supply plugged in. I have our operating system. I have our HDMI cable, and here we go. Let's see if it works. Looks good so far. Come on, machine. Okay, so it looks like it's loading. Let me give it a couple seconds and see if it loads in Hive OS. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we are in Hive. Looks like the overclocks are looking good. Come on, start hashing. Yes. So right now, looks like we're about 50 watts a card, 160 mega hash per card on KASPA. Nice, very exciting. Looks like the cards are doing good. No noise from the fans. It's a happy rig. Guys, I'm so excited about this. I've wanted to run one of these motherboards and use a Bitmain power supply on one of them for a very long time. Tell me what you think. If you can go down, like, comment, subscribe, I'd super appreciate it. And if you have any questions, also let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. But as always, we will see you next time, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it.